she comes out of the airport doors at Hartsfield-Jackson, and I'm waiting on the curbside to pick her up, and when she walked towards me, I said to myself, that's her, that's my wife. And we were inseparable ever since that moment. It was something I never imagined would have happened to me, and I mean, we did it. A decade later, we're still here.
The one rule I did have was, I said, you know, been there, done that. I'm not living with somebody until we are actually engaged or married. I wasn't willing to bend on that.
We were the successful U-Haul couple. We did.
For sure.
Probably one of a few, right?
It was a fairy tale to me because she definitely respected my wishes and what I really wanted, and that meant the world to me.
We met on Tinder.
Okay.
Believe it or not. This was November of 2020, still in the thick of the pandemic. And so we met up for lunch that day at Pond City Market, and we had Chinese food, and we always joke that the other must have put something in our food.
We have been inseparable ever since. So he definitely put something in my shrimp fried rice.
No, you put something in my chicken fried rice.
I can't get away from him. So for me, it's very different because it's more open as far as the communication. Yeah. So there's nothing that's off the table, even if we have to have those hard conversations, or not even hard conversations, but challenging conversations, we're able to do that.
I love that he came to me healed. And that was so important because he had done the work.
There was a level of honesty from our very first date that I never experienced with anyone else. The more obvious things to people that know us would be that I've only ever dated women.
And I had never been with a trans man before, so that was something very new to me. Falling in love with Jamel taught me so much about myself. It allowed me to open up my mind to realize that it's not just about body parts.
I was lucky enough to have just an amazing love story. My husband and I, we met when we were college students. We met when we were both 19. And so we were able to literally grow up together. We were able to spend 32 amazing years together, and we were partners in so much of what we did. We were both street activists with ACT UP, then we both worked for several years on the front lines in HIV and AIDS. One morning I went to wake him up and he just collapsed into my arms and died right there. And so while there's sadness to it, I was there for him at the end.
So we were the first ones kind of charting this journey, and we got doors slammed in our faces. Still today, so many young people say, I saw your wedding, and that was the first wedding I saw. It's so meaningful to be like that example that I wanted for myself, to be that for other people.
So I can understand the fear and the hesitation around getting married, especially with some of the decisions that have come out of the Supreme Court lately. But I want to go back to having that optimism and that hopeful attitude.
At that time, it wasn't legal, you know, everywhere. It was just a few states, New York being one of them. And we just decided to elope. I knew that I wanted to take her last name. But because the states that both of us had residency in, neither of them recognized same-sex marriage.
And so many folks are concerned about that freedom being taken away from us at some point in the future. And I understand that from a very firsthand point of view. People would lose their homes because their partners passed away, and there was not legal recognition of that relationship. And so I know how bad it has been in the past. And my experience dealing with the pain of his loss, at least I had the respect of institutions, banks, insurance companies, utilities, everything I had to work with. They all took a moment. It shows again how far we've come, that every single person, regardless of what their political beliefs or religious beliefs were on the other end of the phone, was there to help me through this time of crisis.
Next, how to live in full color.